Hi, my name's William Parrish, and today I'll be talking about hacking. I'll be covering three different aspects of it: the evolution of it, and then the hacking where it concerns two companies, almost like a joke, so to speak. And then I'll also be talking about different ways that you can present yourself from being hacked, or, well, not so much prevent, but safer techniques. And then, so the evolution of hacking. uh, you have the long distance phone hacking where someone would create a box that would emit a tone, and that tone would basically trick the phone into thinking it's paid and that it's going overseas. And Steve Jobs actually did this with his friend Steve Wozniak, and they were able to go around the globe and go to their next door neighbor. And so when they yelled into the phone, it would take 30 seconds to a minute to go around the world and then go into their next door neighbor's ear. And it would, and so you could tell that it was going around the world just because of the time delay and everything. And so when it came to the nuclear facilities, it was because um, they were people were able to access the internet and were on digital hangouts, and they were sharing passwords and advice on to breaking into systems. Um, and it became hacking became very popular because of the movie War Games, and so kids were just breaking into any computer system they could just to practice. And then when the late 1980s came on, um, it was called revenge hacking because of the fact that uh, in 1989, German hackers who worked for Russia's KGB were found hacking into the Pentagon. Um, and so, whenever people were being fired over all of this, they were destroying and hacking into the companies as revenge for being fired and everything like that. It was just to get back at the company for firing them, they were hacking into everything. And then uh, the World Wide Web came about, and it just allowed the hackers to basically have fun with hacking, so to speak. They released viruses, worms, trojans, malware, you name it. And then it slowly evolved away from that. It didn't stick with infecting your computer because what's the good in that? They're just going to throw it out and get a new $300 piece of machinery. They went after their credit cards, their identities, because that had a lot more value. Back in 1980, when the World Wide Web came out, computers were still extremely expensive. They were targeting the higher class. Now, with the credit card scams and identity theft, you're targeting everyone and you're hitting them for everything. You can get millions out of them before they've realized that they've been hit. And so it shifted from attacking the high class to attacking everyone because everyone has a credit card, everyone has an identity that can be destroyed. And so it just slowly evolved away from destroying someone's computer to destroying their life, basically. The hackers got a lot meaner. Now, the two kinds of companies, this is almost a joke. It's those who know they've been hacked and those that don't know they've been hacked. And it's almost a scary thought, almost, just because those that don't know they've been hacked are they don't know the weaknesses they have. They don't know who's stealing the information and what information is being stolen. But the companies that know they've been hacked, they've fixed the vulnerabilities that their system has, and so not as much information is being leaked. And then how to protect yourself. You always want a complicated password. There's a good example on the screen, but again, I wouldn't recommend the word password. You want something that almost a random string of digits that you can remember. Don't use anything personal to you, because if the hacker has your personal life, they'll be able to figure it out easier. Now, I'm a hypocrite when it comes to that, but I'm actually going to go back and change everything after I've finished recording this. You want to keep your operating system updated purely because of the fact that when an operating system is updated, it fixes all the vulnerabilities that it's had in the previous updates, which is why Windows is constantly updating is because they're constantly finding new vulnerabilities from people hacking them all the time. Always do a regular virus scan. I have my desktop set to run a virus scan every day at like 2 a.m. That way I'm not using it. It's not interfering with me or anything. And my preferred my preferred virus scan is Malwarebytes. I've found them to be extremely reliable and very minimal, unlike Norton, who I believe is a virus in of itself. And then when you're selling a computer, which it's becoming more and more popular to do these days, is you want to destroy all trace of your personal info. So you want to get a program called File Shredder or something like that, that will just go and like rewrite and delete every piece of information you have. Because if you put something in the trash can and delete it, it's not actually gone. You want to basically rewrite over the hard drive and then delete that, rewrite over it, delete that. Basically what they did in Watergate with those tapes. That's the easiest explanation I can think of. And then when it comes to Wi-Fi, if you're at Starbucks or something, you'll always want to preferably use a closed Wi-Fi versus an open Wi-Fi. An open Wi-Fi, anyone can connect to at any point in time, whereas closed Wi-Fi, it at least has some more security in the sense that you have to have a password, so not everyone will be able to get on there. Now, security questions. You may just think that, oh, I'm just going to answer this normally. No, you actually want to do a creative answer. So it's like, one example that I got was, what's the name of your first boyfriend or girlfriend? This one suggests a reply of your mom. And that's just cheeky because most people will go back through your life, try and find who your first boyfriend, girlfriend was. So you would have to remember that you put your mom, but no one's going to think of that as an answer. And then whenever it comes to the phishers, is they're getting smarter and smarter in the sense that it's not the Nigerian prince who needs your money anymore. It's going to look like an actual real company when they're sending you emails. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that to check the email address that it's coming from, like actually click the drop down arrow in, because it may say it's coming from this company, but if you click the drop down arrow of the company, you'll see that it's actually some random hexadecimal email address that's it being sent from, and you know that's a scam, and delete it, get rid of it. Now, you're probably wondering, why is cloud storage up here? And that's because no matter what information you put on the cloud, it's on the internet. Now, so don't put anything personal or sensitive on your cloud. Now, you may think it's a good idea because, well, the cloud storage is mine. No one else has access to it. Well, that's where you're wrong. Look at the iCloud hack with all of the celebrities' photos being leaked. Cloud storage isn't secure, and it will never be. So you have to be very careful what you put on your cloud storage. Conclusion. So as I discussed the evolution of hacking. You always want to be wary of the companies who haven't been hacked, because it means they have vulnerabilities that they don't know about and have holes that hackers are pulling information from. And then I went over the good practices to follow when it comes to being safer on the internet almost. Thank you for listening.